ದೇರಳಕಟ್ಟೆಯ ಯೆನಪೊಯ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂದು ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ 11 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಮತ್ತು ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯ ಸಭಾಂಗಣದಲ್ಲಿ 3 ನೂತನ ಹೊಸ ಪದವಿ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಚಾಲನೆಯನ್ನ ನೀಡಲಾಯಿತು. ಯೆನಪೊಯ ವಿವಿ ಉಪಕುಲಪತಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಎಂ ವಿಜಯಕುಮಾರ್ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದು, ಇನ್ನು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂಬೈ ಎಫ್ಐಸಿಸಿಐ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ಆಶೀಶ್ ಕುಲಕರ್ಣಿ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಯಾಗಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದರು. ಕೊಚ್ಚಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ವರುಣನ್ ಬಾಲಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಭಾಷಣವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಇನ್ನು ದೇಶ ವಿದೇಶಗಳ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಸೃಜನಶೀಲ ಕಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮತ್ತು ವೃತ್ತಿ ಜೀವನವನ್ನ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಲು ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನ ನೀಡುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ದೇರಳಕಟ್ಟೆಯ ಯೆನಪೊಯ ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಮತ್ತು ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯ 8ನೇ ಮಹಡಿಯ ಸಭಾಂಗಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ನೂತನ ಪದವಿ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಚಾಲನೆಯನ್ನ ನೀಡಲಾಯಿತು.
It's a redefining moment in the history of Indian education, and also what he very nicely talked about is character building. It's education is something that actually gets you to realize how to do things in the right way and what is wrong and what is right. But you know, how you behave is the character that you build. And mind you, if the intervention of the creative education or music into the school education as kids grew up, as you learned mathematics, if you learned even the dance or singing or anything to do with the creative arts or performing arts, you would have come up like a very different person, because your cognitive development would be very different. And let me take you to a small story which would tell you why we are saying that design as an education has to be an integral part of school education and university education and the way of your life. You know, 10,000 years ago, you know, we used to stay in caves, and so were animals living in caves. The tigers and the lions and everybody lived in caves. They would come out, hunt for food. But there was some element of design in the human beings on the top of their brain that they decided wearing clothes. Then came a situation that they started living together and started cooking food, and it was a little bit of a kind of setting up. So first, I would say all of the human race was nowhere. Where were they? Where were they? They were nowhere. Did you have breakfast today? Yeah. So where were the human beings? They were nowhere. And from nowhere, that design element brought them to live in small civilizations, cook food, socialize, and they got from nowhere to somewhere. Where did they come? Somewhere. So when they came somewhere, the design element was working even faster, because they were eating cooked food, they were wearing clothes, they were socializing, they were exchanging ideas. I don't know what language was that, but from nowhere they came to somewhere, and one element actually got them to invite a wheel which was man-made, and then they wanted to be from somewhere, they wanted to be everywhere. Where they wanted to be? From nowhere to somewhere. And somewhere to? So it became so active in the design brain that they had, that they actually started, you know, moving around so fast, and it became so vibrant that they also had wings eventually. And they wanted to have breakfast in one city, lunch in another city, dinner in another city. They meet different people. They do 40 meetings like Tom does. And they would always be busy. And as they were busy, they wanted to go from nowhere to somewhere, somewhere to everywhere. And they were literally everywhere. And when they were everywhere, they all realized that the design has taken a very different turn. And the design has worked in the multiple forms so much that they found themselves that while they were everywhere, they realized that they are elsewhere. Where are they? Like those two girls right there in the center. We all are here, but they are elsewhere. You got a WhatsApp, you are elsewhere. You're physically present in your classroom, but you're elsewhere. You're in your drawing room, but everybody is elsewhere. So from nowhere to somewhere, and somewhere to, and from everywhere to. So now, in this era, that you're actually going to do communication design, you're going to do fashion design, you want to look good, okay? I am a shapeless person, but I would like to look good, right? You're smart guys, you're fit. You have to look good, so all your fashion design guys are going to help you to look good. But if you don't communicate, that visual communication is not enough. You need to communicate in various different ways. And those ways of communication are extremely important in the world where you have existence of a physical world and a digital world. We call it a virtual world. And you are living in an era where you are a different personality in the physical world and you are a different personality in a virtual world. Many times the design has taken you elsewhere, and it has taken you so far in elsewhere that you're not able to reconnect to the physical world. Now, as a student of communication design, as a student of fashion design, of course, I think these are the two very strong, design verticals under which you can actually make a career and you can make a difference to the world. You have to really have a responsibility of getting people from elsewhere to now here. Where? Elsewhere to? So from the story is from nowhere to now here, okay? The story is? But it takes you from nowhere to somewhere, from somewhere to? From everywhere to? So people are elsewhere right now, and the job of the design people today is to get them now here, and it's a big responsibility. So how do you actually do this is out of the box thinking. You need to look at things with very different angles. I'll give you another small story. I was later on because what was right in 56 as an education policy, where we had English, maths, botany, zoology, physics, chemistry, history, geography, civics, economics as a priority. Today our priority is different. We need a level playing field for science, commerce, for creative arts, performing arts, design, sports and earth sciences, along with science and commerce. And I think that's where we are going to make a difference. And in 2005, I wrote a white paper for Government of India. We had only one NID. And I wrote that we need a center of excellence for animation, gaming, visual effects, comics, but we require 40 design schools. And the government called me for the meeting, and then finally NID had 5 more design schools which are still getting established. And of course they're working in some way, but they're actually getting established in a bigger way. I didn't know that time that the private university will open up, the Dean University law would open up in 2009, 10, 11 was a path-breaking year for us. 2020 was a path-breaking year for us. We had a state private universities, and then there was the arrival of ISDC and the whole team. And today we have 37 institutions in India teaching design. And I am very happy that today we have one more name getting added, and it becoming 38. And I was talking to Varunan, because I'm talking to another 17 to start design, and Varunan said that we are also talking to another 4. I think it's going to be really good because we need design as an integral part. Whether you are a doctor or an engineer, you need to be still creative. The creative doesn't mean by the virtue of the dictionary meaning, if you try to understand creativity, it doesn't mean artistic creativity alone. It's about way you do things, way you understand things, where you have a bird's eye view and you take a call and you actually design processes and systems. So I think one of the finest responsibilities that ever can be handed over to young professionals, of course medical, engineering, commerce, everything is fine, but one of the things that is going to impact the lives of many people, whether it's an accounting design, whether it's a product design, whether it's fashion design, whether it's an animation, storytelling design, whether it's a policy design, is going to impact people. And you guys are here to create an impact. So I would like to wish you all the very best and make sure that you not only look into this as a degree, but you look at this as an understanding, because there's a difference between getting a degree or getting trained and getting educated. So you need to educate yourself, you need to understand the subject and make sure that you are true to this subject every point in time and every single day in life. And you create processes and systems and products for people who are going to really enjoy it and make sure that the world would recognize it. I am fascinated by the whole fashion that India has emerged into in the last 3 decades. The wedding fashion, you look at it and I think the Indian youth today is very smart and they really look cool. And Varundan talked about one of the students of design, but overall the fashion design has changed the whole personality of an Indian. And I think you are here to make sure that you make difference to people's life. So please do it carefully and tell the best story of your design to the world. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's always difficult to speak, after listening to the veteran speakers. You're putting me into the difficult shoes, but let me try to draw a context with respect to the launch of today's program, which is all about starting the communication design offerings with Yenapoya deemed to be university. So as a company, we are based out of United Kingdom, headquartered in the UK, actively promoting British education and skills across the globe. Very active in India for more than a decade now, working with an excess of 270 universities, which includes all the leading private deemed universities, few state universities and one central university, and most of the autonomous colleges in the country, creating very unique undergraduate and postgraduate programs in a variety of subject areas. Yenapoya being our one among the first partners, the city of Mangalore, and Mangalore is emotionally connected to us, as we are headquartered in Bangalore in India, and which is the first city we started venture soon after Bangalore, and Yenapoya being one among the first partnerships which we cracked in Bangalore more than 7-8 years back, and it's always a pleasure to extend this partnership by launching new offerings. So you might be wondering why design, why creative education. So listen to the speakers, because I don't need to tell you the depth of design, the depth of industry. It's very coincidence, we just celebrated our Oscar. It has no state design policy. How do we create a state design policy which create an ecosystem by producing the real talents? As long as you are producing the talents are very much available in the society or in the economy. You don't need to wait for the employees. You see, the US or UK companies, start setting up their design base in Karnataka, or design base in Hyderabad, or design base in Chennai. This is what's happening now. The real challenge is basically the lack of resources in the creative education sector, and we were predominantly training our students to become engineers or become the medical doctors, or become chartered accountants. We never taken design as a very serious profession so far. The glamour was not there. In a very layman's language, it was not a very glamorous course. We used to say, they go for, someone is joining for a design course. We say, they join for a multimedia, which is a kind of, a kind of pizza. You study, you eat everything, right? Yeah. So the kind of the focused design school was the real shortage in the state of Karnataka. Even that is a shortage, not just in
There's something called gap. What you want and what you are, that's the gap. If the gap is small, you are happy. If the gap is big, you are not happy. So don't allow the gap to be bigger. Go behind what you want to, and I'm sure you will get it. And we are here today inaugurating this set of courses. Tomorrow something else we are inaugurating. All these are skill sets based and employment based. I am sure you will understand this and go ahead with what you do. I thank everybody for having come here. I thank the people who are organized. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The reward of a thing well done is having done it. However, we would be falling short of our duty if we do not recognize a thing well done and encourage it. May I now request Dr. Savita to deliver the word of thanks.
Expressing gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful things humans can do for each other. A very good afternoon to you all. I, Dr. Savita Suvarna, Professor, on behalf of Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, would like to express heartfelt gratitude to all the guests and the gathering. But before I begin to express my gratitude to the guests and gathering, I would like to take a moment to thank and appreciate our management for organizing, for introducing and supporting the new venture into our institution. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor, NFI deemed to be University Delagatte, Dr. M. Vijay Kumar. Sir, your presence is a matter of joy and pride. On behalf of everyone, I offer my sincere gratitude to you, sir. In his absence, I deem it my great pleasure to appreciate and be grateful to Dr. B.A. Sripati Rao, Pro Vice Chancellor, NFI deemed to be University Delagatte. I would like to thank the chief guest of today's occasion, Mr. Ashish Kulkarni, Chairman, FICCI, Mumbai. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. Your presence has added meaning to the launch program and your address has marked an auspicious beginning. My sincere thanks goes to today's guest of honor, Dr. Gangadhar Somiyaji KS, Registrar, NFI deemed to be University, Delagatte, and also Dr. Tom and Joseph, Executive Director, Strategy and Development, ISDC UK. Your presence is